A man enters a guilty plea in the death of a child, the punishment he faces after admitting his role in the crime.
A teenager is dead after a crash on a southern Kentucky road.
And how a Kentucky girl stepped in after she saw a child being bullied.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon. Sam, Dick, and Amber Philpott reporting. A man charged in the murder of a 13-month-old admits he caused the child's death.
Joseph Adams entered a guilty plea in a Boyle County courtroom this afternoon. WKYT's Hillary Thornton shows us the punishment he faces in our top story at 4:30.
He was accused of sexually abusing and killing a 13-month-old boy back in 2014. Today, Joseph Adams inside of the courtroom pleading guilty to those charges. Investigators say Adams was caring for the 13-month-old boy and the boy's sister when the young boy was injured. State police then charging Adams with murder, saying he is responsible for the boy's death after discovering extensive trauma to the boy's head and body. Investigators also said there were indications of sexual abuse, also charging Adams with sodomy. During their investigation, detectives said Adams told them the boy's 2-year-old sister had assaulted him, but they said that wouldn't be consistent with the extent of the trauma to the boy's body. Today, in front of a judge in Boyle County Circuit Court, Adams accepting a plea agreement, initially charged with capital murder, facing the possibility of the death penalty, today pleading guilty to murder and sodomy with a recommended sentence of life without parole. And Adams did waive his right to a formal sentencing. Instead, the judge handing down his punishment today in court, sentencing him to life without parole. In Boyle County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
The young boy's family was in the courtroom today. They say they are glad this part is over, even though it won't bring their little boy back.
A teenager died in a southern Kentucky crash. Police say the crash happened on Kentucky 223 in the Stinking Creek community of Knox County. We're told the teenager was the passenger in an SUV that ran off the road and hit a tree. Caleb No has more on the young victim.
Well, police tell me the two were heading from the Stinking Creek DeWitt area on Highway 223 toward the main road, US 25E.
They say shortly before 6 Wednesday, the 19-year-old driver of a maroon GMC lost control and went over an embankment.
Struck a tree and then overturned. In the overturning process, a passenger was ejected.
The passenger, 13-year-old Dakota Honeycutt, was pronounced dead at the scene. No charges have been filed as of now, but the investigation is ongoing.
Measurements and photos, and went ahead and requested blood.
Of course, blood tests can take weeks to get back, but that is how police will determine whether the driver was under the influence at the time of the crash.
And the results of that blood test will be the main factor in deciding if charges are filed. In Knox County, Caleb No, WKYT.
The driver was taken by ambulance to Barberville ARH Hospital and later flown to UK Hospital. A man is dead after a lawn mowing accident in Nicholasville. It happened near Tabernacle Baptist Church on US 27. The Jessamine County coroner says 60-year-old David Nethery Jr. was found under a zero-turn riding mower. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Deputies have charged a woman who claimed to be the victim of a home invasion. Elizabeth Lewis is charged with falsely reporting an incident. Deputies say she reported a man broke into her home in Bullitt County last week and shot her in the stomach. After investigating, the sheriff's office determined the incident did not happen the way Lewis claimed and that she was the only one involved. Lexington's new fire chief has been on the job just a couple of weeks now. She's been a part of the fire department, though, for 23 years. But something many may not know about her is she's been living her passion for even longer than that. Fire Chief Kristen Chilton is a certified veterinarian technician. She spends her downtime, which isn't much lately, helping spay and neuter dogs and cats at the Lexington Humane Society.
Sometimes we have good moments together, sometimes we have sad moments together, and sometimes we have fun together, but we still all work together to get what we need to do to get the job done.
Amber's in the newsroom now with Miranda Combs to find out more about her exclusive interview you can see tonight on WKYT News at 6. Amber?
Sam, thank you. This is pretty interesting. I think you thought you were going in to just maybe do a sit down, talk about her new position. Totally changed, right?
You know, I came in here, my stomach was a little upset afterward. Yeah, we sat down with her first at the training center, and we knew that she was into animals, so we headed over to the Humane Society, thought she'd pet some cats and talk to us some more, and she sends us back to the surgical suite, which again, we thought would be empty, and we talked to her a little bit longer there, but turns out they were in the middle of a lot of spay and neuters, and so she jumped right in and helped them out.
So she really has this love of sort of animals and maybe wanting to be a vet, but she didn't go on and choose that as her profession.
And she says when she got to high school and realized the amount of schooling that was going to go into being a vet, it lost a little bit of interest and she wanted to keep it as a hobby. At the same time, that's when she went and toured a fire station and realized, hey, this is a way I could help people instead of pets, but still do my hobby as well.
And in this story, you say she is really into animals, but you're going to show us that she really is.
She literally keeps a crate in the back of her car just in case she sees a stray animal on the side of the road. So yes, she definitely takes it up a notch. Very interesting lady. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you.
Well, she has a very important job in this city, but nice to see the other side of her as well. That story coming up tonight at 6 from Miranda. Sam?
Look forward to it. Thank you. The Kentucky Senate will unveil a plaque honoring former Senator Georgia Davis Powers tomorrow. The plaque will be attached to her former desk in the state Senate. Powers died in January at the age of 92. In 1967, she became the first African American and the first woman elected to the state Senate. She served for 21 years. Prior to taking the seat, she was a civil rights activist who marched along Dr. King and Jackie Robinson. It is an act of kindness caught on video. Now, one Louisville girl is being praised for what she did to help a boy being bullied. Gilbert Coursey shows us her generous act.
On an average day off Wheeler Avenue, not far from Churchill Downs,
we leave it out here all year long for the kids to play, give them something to do.
The neighborhood balls outside Shaylin Hampton's home. Sunday's game brought an unexpected player.
No, I didn't know him at all.
Just 8 or 9 years old, by guess. The other kids did not play fair.
His shoes was like coming apart on the bottom and stuff, flipped back.
They weren't what you would call it is designer.
So during a break from the game, as that little boy sat by himself,
this is what my baby does, y'all.
Hampton decided she would help.
When she came out of the bedroom, she had a box of shoes in her hands. I was like, what are you doing with those? She's like, they're making fun of a little boy outside, Mom, and he's got holes in his shoes. Because I felt bad. Like, when I was little, when I was his age, I got made fun of. I didn't like that. So, I mean, to stop that feeling for someone else, it made me feel good.
Hampton's a little bit tomboy and a whole lot of sneakerhead. Her collection could pile as high as the ceiling in her home. She gave the little boy a pair of $200 LeBrons.
They were clean, they were brand new, so I didn't have nothing to use them for.
Her mother posted the video online, not just because she was proud, rather to see a different story in the community. Her kids play in front of an abandoned school where the windows are boarded up or busted out. Trash is everywhere. They've seen 4 murders in the last 4 months.
I think that there's still good in the world.
Good in the heart of a 13-year-old girl. Sunday just happened to be Hampton's birthday, and yes, she got new shoes, but the gift she gave, no one will soon forget.
I was just happy and surprised that somebody would actually care that much.
A good example for all of us. That was Gilbert Coursey reporting. Shaylene's family says all they know about the child she helped is that his name is Richard.
You can see the work of nearly 24 Kentucky artists at the state capitol. This year's Governor's Derby exhibit is now on display at the Capitol Rotunda. The exhibit will be on display until May 7th. The Capitol is open from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday and from 10 a.m. to 2 on Saturdays. A California company has come up with a new type of diamond. How they're growing them just ahead.
Dare to compare. This 6,000-watt generator is over $600 at Home Depot and only $399 at P-Rack. Save $100 over Sears Brand Central on this Maytag washer, plus free gift cards up to $500.
Nobody beats P-Racks.
Hey, America! I'm getting fired up for Golden Corral's new Fired Up Favorites. It's endless ribs, wings, and tenders and bold new flavors like habanero, sriracha, garlic parmesan, and classic buffalo. Fired Up Favorites only at Golden Corral.
If you have arthritic knee pain that's stopping you from enjoying life, this new information about Osteo Relief could be for you. Specially trained local doctors are now using advanced medical science to finally make headway for people suffering from knee arthritis pain. It may even be for those who suffer from bone-on-bone and are considering knee replacement surgery. Are you one of the millions of Americans who have difficulty with simple everyday tasks, rising from a chair, walking, climbing stairs without using the handrail? If so, the Osteo Relief method utilizes cutting-edge video motion imaging. With this imaging, these doctors can precisely guide an FDA-approved cushioning gel to relieve pain and help heal your knees. This innovative procedure is covered by Medicare and most major insurance if you qualify. And you'll be walking out in as little as 15 minutes. For a limited time, these specially trained doctors are offering a risk-free screening. Call to schedule your knee relief screening today.
Flooring Gallery, your home's best friend.
The Flooring Gallery's warehouse sale means huge savings for you this Friday and Saturday starting at 9 a.m. Find unbelievable values like ceramic tiles starting at 49 cents a square foot, laminate as low as 88 cents a square foot, and carpet remnants starting at $10. Shop early and bring your measurements for best selection during this 2-day sale. You can only experience these savings at our Bryant Road location next to Ashley Furniture.
The Flooring Gallery, your home's best friend.
The average person takes 5,000 to 8,000 steps per day, working, exercising, going about the day. High-tech artificial limbs keeps you moving comfortably. You can choose who helps you walk in the right direction.
Dare to compare. Ashley Shea Sectional 1111 to get the matching ottoman free. Save $200 on this Samsung SUHD TV. Savings as good as a state sales tax break. 5 years, 0 interest and free gift cards.
Nobody beats P-Rats.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Gorgeous looking day. Temperatures are fantastic as well as we are running in the upper 60s and low 70s throughout the entire area. Cloud cover streaming into our skies here in central Kentucky from the south. You can see it there off in the distance. That's from a little more active pattern, a little more active cloud covering, maybe even a stray shower trying to develop in southern sections of Kentucky. We're at 69 degrees here in Lexington. Winds are still kind of gusty, up to around 22 miles per hour, and they'll probably calm down as we head through the rest of the evening. You can see where we are temperature-wise all over the place. Look at Middlesboro, by the way, 74 degrees, 72 in London, 70 Somerset, 71 Monticello. Just a lot of nice temperatures showing up across the Commonwealth and all around us as well. I mean, it's closer to the mid-70s, more widespread to our west toward Owensboro and into Paducah. There you see those clouds, at least the thicker band of clouds off in the distance, hugging right along the Hal Rogers Parkway. You can see that, and then points toward the south, and even a little moisture trying to show up. This is a zone of interest for us as we progress through the rest of the evening. The reason is we might run into a stray shower or two, but that's it. And that's going to be the primary zone of formation moving forward here this evening. You can see that moisture getting a little more active, coming together there into Whitley and over into Knox County and also over into Bell County as well. These folks have been seeing those clouds hanging around with them for a better part of the day now as it's starting to really thicken up in that area. Another issue that we're running into, and especially moving forward as we go into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, would be pollen as an issue. As far as the scale is concerned, it's 0 to 12, 0 to 12. So keep that in mind because at 10.5 on Friday, 11.5 there on Saturday and Sunday as well. Oak and birch, some of the main issues that some of you may be suffering from already. And the issue with it is there's not a lot going on in the pattern. Watch this. I mean, it stays quiet. Other than that stray shower or two, we don't have any major game changers coming here to shake it up. So the air becomes a little more stagnant. And as that happens, the allergy sufferers start to suffer a little bit more. We have a front. It's way out there. And by the way, it's stationary. And it's not making any motion toward us until later on next week. That is when we'll start to get in on some kind of change. As we go into your Saturday, all the action remains well off to our west. We've got high pressure running the show for us, keeping us nice and warm for most of our 7-day. But again, stagnant, not a lot of change, so allergies become an issue. There you see the rest of that 7-day forecast as we hover in the 70s each and every single day. And the coolest low that I have in the whole thing is 45 degrees. Now that is impressive.
It is impressive. That whole 7-day there is quite impressive.
Even with the rain in there next week, that's fine and dandy. We can handle it.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you.
A group of Silicon Valley engineers is trying to outshine one of nature's most coveted objects.
Diamond Foundry is among a handful of companies growing diamonds. As John Blackstone shows us, they should not be mistaken for imitation gems like cubic zirconia.
At this Silicon Valley startup, engineers are doing in weeks what takes nature millions of years.
Just like out of a mine, our growth chambers produce a rough diamond.
They're making diamonds. Jeremy Scholes, Chief Technology Officer of the Diamond Foundry, carefully shows off some of what they create.
For us, in just a few weeks, we produce a 1-carat stone with plasma and with chemistry. We're accelerating the very same processes that happen in the earth.
To protect their secrets from the competition, the Diamond Foundry provided only glimpses of the machines that at 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit rearrange carbon atoms into precious gems.
To the layperson, it would be very hard to see some of the differences.
John King is Chief Quality Officer of the Gemological Institute of America. He grades diamonds and says there's little difference between those mined from the earth and those grown in a machine.
They're both diamonds. They have the same chemical properties, the same physical properties.
A diamond is forever.
The world's leading diamond producer, De Beers, told CBS this morning the finite nature of natural diamonds makes them inherently valuable. Synthetic diamonds can be mass-produced and will not retain value over time. But whether diamonds are coming from the earth or from Silicon Valley, don't expect a bargain. Foundry diamonds cost only about 15% less. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
When actor Leonardo DiCaprio heard about Diamond Foundry, he became an early investor. DiCaprio became an activist against the diamond industry after starring in the movie Blood Diamond in 2006.
What are the hot colors, the best things to wear for Derby this year? I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about at Keeneland with the answers. We'll have more when we return here on WKYT.
Tonight, The Big Bang Theory is so funny, we're putting it in writing.
It's in my proprietary font, Helvetica.
Don't miss The Big Bang Theory. Then, if there's anyone who makes Oscar Madison a better man,
I've tried to evolve you into something more refined.
it's Felix Unger.
The poet Longfellow once.
But teaching an old Oscar new tricks, good luck.
Take your feet off of the coffee table and for God's sake use coasters.
A new odd couple right after The Big Bang Theory. CBS tonight.
Hey guys, it's Deanne Stevens here. When it comes to HVAC, the Comfort Man is the only name I trust. And right now, they're running a special where you can get a clean and check for $69. Don't wait until it's too late. Call the Comfort Man at 859-COMFORT today.
Nothing brings a family together like fun around the backyard pool. Here is your last chance to make that happen, and the price has never been better. For a limited time, Blue World Pools has the big 15 by 24 Econoline pool for not $399, not even $349. If you call now, that pool can be yours for only $299. That price still includes pump, filter, liner, ladder, and a free automatic pool cleaner. All that including free installation on your ready site for just $299. That's a $1,995 value for only $299. That's awesome! Call Blue World Pools now and take advantage of this incredible offer. Want more pizzazz? Of course you do! So jump up to our midline pool or grab for it all with Blue World Pools' top-of-the-line classic pool, the ultimate in high-style living. The choice is yours. But remember, this is your last chance to take advantage of our limited-time offer. The price will never get any better than this. How could it? Call Blue World Pools right now and beat that heat.
Can you help me figure out what to plant in my front yard to help our curb appeal?
Sorry, I just started working here last week, so I'm not sure. Hey, can you help her find some plants?
Sorry, kid. I work in the plumbing department.
Can you help me figure out what to plant to help our curb appeal?
Piece of cake. First, you need a few dwarf boxwoods over there. Supplement those with a crate. Take your curb appeal to the next level. At King's Gardens, we share your passion for plants.
Welcome to Carpet One. Visit our area rug showroom featuring 400 room-size area rugs. While you're here, check out our in-stock rolls and remnants and save over 50% off carpet and vinyl. Carpet One has it all, and we have it in stock. Come see us.
From simple to exquisite, Sukasa has just the right granite for every style and purpose. Home with a $19.99 granite kitchen and Lexington's largest selection of stone under one roof. Let Sukasa bring your dream home.
Hey guys, it's Deanne Stevens here. When it comes to HVAC, the Comfort Man is the only name I trust. And right now, they're running a special where you can get a clean and check for $69. Don't wait until it's too late. Call the Comfort Man at 859-COMFORT today.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. WKYT.
How is it that it's just about 2 weeks until the Kentucky Derby? But if you are still in need of a stylish hat for the event, you can get one made by a woman whose creations have been seen on the red carpet and the runway.
WKYT's Deanne Stevens is out and about today with details. Deanne?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here at Keeneland, the Keeneland shop, where we are with the world famous Christine Moore. She's this milliner out of New York City, and folks call her from all across the world to have hats made. The cool part is you can come out this weekend here to Keeneland and have your very own hat custom made. Goodness gracious, I'm afraid I'm going to hit somebody in the head here with this one. Yeah, exactly. Christine, this is a fabulous and a fun hat.
Thank you, thank you. You know what, that's the thing, like it's still go big and go home, go home. It's still that something. You have to look Southern Belle, you have to look elegant, but you have to have something that pops, like whether it's the color or whether it's like the size of the brim or it's the height, or the bling.
Or the bling. Bling works too. What are the hot colors this year?
Oh, the hot colors. Well, it's always coral, because coral goes with everything, and it can go through the pink side and it goes to the red, and really something you would wear again. So that's always good. But we're also seeing a lot of blues, like actually Kentucky blue.
Of course.
I'm telling you, all over, not just Kentucky. So, and then we also have like the pinks, like a cherry pink, and then all shades of pink, really, but intense pink, and then also, the neutrals, like not so much like, well, yeah, like gray, black, blush, skin tones. And ivory too.
It sounds like a mix of everything. Do most people pick out their dress or their hat first?
Most people pick out their dress first, I think, just because there's fit issues. So that makes sense. I'd rather people come to me with the dress so they don't have to have a panic about it. Right. But because I can do either way. It doesn't really matter to me. But of course, the one thing is when you pick the hat out first, generally people are more adventurous about the hat.
Okay, and I gotta know, except for
yeah, you're just adventurous.
I don't know whatever gave you that idea. Real quick, hatinator, fascinator, or a hat this year?
I would say hatinator or hat. It's the hatinator is more popular because it sits like a fascinator, but it's like the scope of a hat, like it frames your face, and that's really American. Kentucky Derby style.
Love it. All right, well, we are getting ready for the Kentucky Derby. You can come meet Christine Moore yourself here at Keeneland this weekend. She's going to be here on Friday and Saturday. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about, ready for Derby and the races. Back to you guys.
Lots of decisions to make there. Country trio Lady Antebellum will sing the national anthem at this year's Kentucky Derby. The performance will take place in the winner's circle just before the race. It's also the kickoff for the group's summer tour. Lady Antebellum is the 8th group to sing the Star-Spangled Banner since Churchill Downs began that tradition back in 2009.
The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge got up close and personal with some endangered wildlife during their royal tour of India. Prince William and Kate met with a group of villagers before heading to a national park, which is home to elephants, water buffalo, endangered swamp deer, and one-horned rhinos. The couple then used large bottles of milk to feed the animals. The Duke and Duchess will visit the Taj Mahal this weekend. A rescue pup is going viral for his soccer skills. See what he can do next and take a look at this.
Hey man, who do you think Captain D was?
Captain D was actually regional semi-pro hockey captain Doug LaCour. Fueled by his voracious love of seafood, Doug would punch holes in the ice with his bare hands for a mid-practice snack.
You're full of it.
He sure is, Paul. Full of Captain D's Southern-style whitefish, topped with a special blend of Nashville hot seasonings for our Nashville hot fish. For full meals at just $4.99, it's gotta be D's.
Used cars are in short supply, so I need your trade. Right now, at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. During the spring clearance event, new 2015 Jeep Renegade Sports are just $189 a month. New 2016 Ram Bighorn Crew Cab 4-wheel drives are only $199 a month. And if you have a job and a valid driver's license, we want to approve you. Only at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Enjoy 0% financing for 5 years and free TVs with your qualifying purchase at Sleep Outfitters. Get this Sealy Pillow Top Queen set with gel foam on sale now for just $4.99, plus a free TV. Save hundreds on a special purchase of Tempur-Pedic adjustable bases while they last. 0% financing for 5 years, free TVs, store-wide savings, and save hundreds on Tempur-Ergo adjustable foundations. Only at Sleep Outfitters.
Hello, I'm Rob Bromley, inviting WKYT TV viewers on the vacation of your dreams, a land and cruise tour of Alaska, August 5th to the 18th. We'll stay near Denali National Park and watch for wildlife on a guided park tour. Our vacation includes Anchorage, Fairbanks, the White Pass and Yukon Train, and a 4-night Holland America cruise through Glacier Bay and the Inside Passage. For more information, call Holiday Vacations, 1-800-826-2266.
Were you or a family member in an accident that resulted in severe injuries or even death? Was your case questionable as to who was at fault or maybe partially at fault? Did you know that the laws of Kentucky afford you and your family compensation against that person or business that is partially at fault? At Spencer Law Group, we strive to go the extra mile in researching and preparing your case for settlement or trial for cases such as yours. We will fight for the compensation that you and your family deserve.
Beautiful spring day out there. I was over at Mount Sterling Elementary this morning. The kiddos out in shorts. They are ready for warm weather and recess for sure.
And there is more good weather to come for those children. Is that right, Jim? You've got lots going on.
They can keep the shorts out. They can keep the flip-flops on. It looks wonderful as we move forward here from this point all the way into next week. Daytime highs each day in the 70s. Some cases very close to 80 degrees. Right now, though, as we look at some of these temperatures, we're at 70 now in Lexington officially, 72 in Richmond. A little bit of thicker cloud cover showing up across extreme southern sections of Kentucky. That's because we might have a stray shower or two. And you can see, even with this model in our hour-by-hour forecast, trying to pick up on a stray shower close to Lexington. That's what you see there with the green off in the distance, so small chance of that. By 10 o'clock, we're in the 50s. We go through the overnight and into the early morning. Mid and upper 40s expected as you start your Friday, but forget about the rest because we are off to the races for highs tomorrow, back into the low 70s. So a repeat essentially what we had out there today. Now let's get you up to date on traffic situation out there.
2 collisions working now that they cleared the one at Clays Mill and Hillendale. There's a crash at Cooper and Castle. Now, that's a non-injury collision. It is blocking part of the intersection. And also one at Tate's Creek and Alumni, not too far from that location. Police are trying to get that one out of the intersection. Drive times this afternoon. To Paris on Paris Pike, things look pretty normal. To Winchester, 64 looks okay, and 75 still looking great across the Clays Ferry Bridge. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Don. Proof that nothing can stop love, not even an armed robbery, and a puppy with some serious soccer skills.
It is the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this. This couple in Montana, they were so into each other they didn't even notice an armed robbery going on. 3 men stormed into this bar with guns demanding money from the register. The couple finally noticed what was going on once the robbery was over. How about that?
Okay, love is love. A rescue pooch in the United Kingdom has been dubbed a soccer star after showing off some serious ball handling skills. Look at this. Nonprofit posted the video of the furry footballer, and it's already scoring points with viewers online. The pup's name is Alfie, but has been nicknamed after soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo, not only for his skills, but also because he's easy on the eyes.
He's a cutie, that little fella there. Well, a crafty octopus at a New Zealand aquarium pulled off quite the daring escape. Inky slithered out of his tank and down a runoff pipe all the way back to the ocean, they think. Aquarium authorities say the octopus, they are extremely smart, and no great search will be put on for Inky. You might remember sea creatures staged a similar escape in the movie Finding Nemo. Inky is probably already trading stories with Nemo and his pals if they ever made it out of those bags. I'm telling you, Inky is the talk of the town. I seem to hear it on the radio today. Everybody's talking about Inky's escape. So
all right,
there you have it.
We got to show it to you as well. Much more to come now at 5 o'clock.